5:31 p.m. Well, it is beautiful Thursday. Wherever you are, always make sure that you take the weather with you. Dubai, there you go. That's what happened when you're looking at the wrong weather. Dunedin Fringe Festival is delighted to be returning in 2021 to reunite artists and art lovers in venues right across the city. With over 80 events, there will be something for everyone. This year, they, as we out here brought the people, they have a particularly interesting show presented by New Zealand-based Pacifica men who have been through the prison system. The title is Talanoa Mai Moana. Talking to us this morning to give us more details with regards to this beautiful work of art is Hiliako Iaheto. He is a musician and music teacher, born and raised in Tokelau. Came to Aotearoa Educational Scholarship. He's quite a smart man in the 80s, you see. He's going to use big words and big questions. Now lives in Makanju Bay in Dunedin. Iaheto is a central figure in the promotion of Pacifica culture and music in the Lower South, performing with Dunedin-based group Koile and putting together performances such as Frangipani and this We and the Sea and We Are the Ocean. This morning, Talohani, Hakaitailahi for Hakalongolongo Mai. Welcome to the program, one and only Brother Hiliako.
Maloni, malo hakaitai mo te awanoa tēnei ko tuku mai. Nā.
Fantastic. Malo, brother. Look, let's do it the Pacific way, shall we? Can you give us a little bit of a background of yourself that I didn't already mention to our tangata?
Okay, well, yes, I am Tokelauan Tongan, but I was, my father's Tongan, my mother's Tokelauan Samoan, born and raised in Tokelau. Pretty much I grew up more familiar with my Tokelauan culture. And I'm actually based here in Dunedin, where most of our families have lived since the early 60s. And I work with children. I teach music in schools, but also do other community projects that we enjoy, promoting the arts and Pacifica culture and stuff. And this is one of them. One of the projects that we are, the Nati. What we are doing, we're working with Pacifica men in this therapeutic settings of Moana House. Is a therapeutic place. There's a couple of houses, I think it is in New Zealand. Moana House is the South Island one. I think there's one in Auckland, Odyssey House, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so it's a little bit about what I'm doing.
Okay. That's awesome. Yesterday, we spoke to a gentleman who was doing sort of similar work in terms of rehabilitation and helping our Pacific men, especially around the area of violence and how to be a father and how to be a strong Pacifica man and community. And they've got a program called Seunga. So I love the fact that even when we're far away from what Aotearoa thinks is the center of the Pacific Island, which is Tamaki Makaurau, we still see remnants of our culture like the one that you were doing in Dunedin and also in Christchurch and Wellington. Now, this year, the Dunedin Fringe Festival, people are quite excited. I think you guys having your presence there is going to add some, let's say, beautiful color to it all. Tell us, is this the first time any form of Pacific representation is integrated into Dunedin Fringe Festival, or has there been representation prior to Talanoa Mai Moana, which we'll get to in a minute?
There has been Pacifica presence in the Fringe Festival. I think Pacific Underground was one of them. I think they did a show here, 2007, I think it was. The team guitar show with Paul Santana. And there was also James Norkise, as we know, our comedy. And there's been a couple other ones, but Inati, we put up a show called Frangipani. I suppose we just took the name of the festival, we kind of gave it our twist in terms of what we do. And but yeah, there has been not a lot of Pacifica presence in the festival. Every now and then we'll get something, but for what we're doing here, I thought, well, it's the wish of our group that they wanted to do more sharing their stories and and stuff like that. So hence this is how this has come about.
Continue work on advocacy.
Talanoa with a mean.
Yeah. All right. Let me just quickly read something that I'm reading online with regards to the show. Talanoa Mai Moana. 2 locations, 2 nights. Of tales interwoven with music and song, Pacifica men will gather to share their stories and memories and invite you to come to the circle. There will be some joyful moments to embrace and some melancholy reflections to soothe Ulutonu Mai. Tell us about Talanoa Mai Moana, how that concept came about. You previously referenced about the work that you already do with our community, but how did you convince a concept to be crafted into what people will see when they attend Talanoa Mai Moana?
Well, myself and my wife, we run a program called we have an arts program, and in one of the projects that we work with these men from this house, one house. I'm not sure if we have a lot of Pacifica men coming through this Māori service down here, this whare. So I was asked if I would be able to work with some of the men. Music was a beginning, I suppose, and then from there we meet the men and you actually learn about each other, but about our cultures and where we all come from. So as you listen to all this, as I listen to their stories and plus all our stories, they're so similar, they're so the same, maybe not always the same, but there are so many similarities. And I suppose when I think about it too, it's like, back home, as I remember growing up, as people gather at the meeting as it's a Malay, and then Talanoa, they talk. But with this setting here, it's the excitement of talking about, they're growing up, but also there's some tough times as well. And for them being able to come to their point to Talanoa about how they're feeling and, and the environment that they grow up in, it's pretty deep, man. It's sometimes yes, but being able to Talanoa about it, I think it's really good. We'll come away with, well, we Talanoa, we cry, we laugh, we sing some songs, and we do a couple of hāteles or have a jam, and that's pretty much our group. But it was their wish that they wanted to share their stories. So I guess it was an opportunity that presented itself to be able to present something in the Fringe Festival. So this is how Talanoa Mai Moana had come about.
Would it be fair to say that the majority of the group that are participating in Talanoa Mai Moana would be speaking from first-hand experiences in terms of their journeys, or are these part of stories crafted from those who went through it, provided and performed by actors, or are we looking at those who went through the experiences themselves?
Malo, thank you for the question, bro. These stories are from the men themselves. In terms of the cast, some of the men have come through with the program, and they've actually graduated or gone through. So they are a part of the play, of the storytelling. There's a couple of men. They are in the story. Actually, and the story is based around one of the guys that come through. I can share his name is Waisea Magoon. He's from Fiji, so he's been able to come through, and he's actually now working for the whare in terms of the men. So there's awesome progress with for him and with him, but also too with a lot more of our Pacifica men coming through. It's so that's how they come about.
Hiliako, what would be the lessons, the wisdoms that have been, I guess, sort of selected and created from the stories of these leaders of our community who went through such experiences for other Pacifica men that are listening in today as a takeaway for them?
Lava, could you please ask me the question again? Sorry, I'm trying to.
With the concept of Talanoa Mai Moana, you've got brothers getting together, sharing their stories in that Pacifica way where you sit around the fale, share stories, and then what would be the lessons for our Pacifica men who are listening in this morning out of the concept of Talanoa Mai Moana? Because as you journey, there's always an arrival for them and for you as part of the house that helped nurture these men's stories. What are some of the lessons that you'd like to leave with our audience this morning?
I think that the lessons of being just to be able to talk first, to be open to share how you're feeling, or you know, or even maybe talk about your personal journey, some of the deep, the harder stuff. To know that they're open to that, but sometimes it's not always easy. So I guess for me, men, we need to be able to talanoa more, but also too with our families and stuff like that. I hope that answers the question.
Yep, no, very much. I mean, it's I should say, we as Pacifica men, we're so used to that hunting role that we're somebody, sometimes traditionally leave out of the circle of the emotional stuff. But in today's age and this diaspora environment we live in, it's so many things that are not the norm. And Talanoa is one of the things that we're finding hard to do, sharing our emotion. Because we're also, still men, and we have that, strong men don't share their feelings. Well, that's why it burst out in other forms, eh? Brother, now, if you can just let our audience know that are in Dunedin in terms of the details of the show, if there are tickets, where can they access them, and the dates and location. Fa'amalmole, Hiliako?
No problems. Talanoa Mai Moana will be on uh, the first night will be the 19th, Friday, the 19th of March. There will be at the McAndrew Bay Community Hall. And the second night is the 20th, Saturday, the 20th of March. And that would be at Brockville Community Hall, which is this Brockville School Hall. It's actually the community hall out there. We're actually decided we're going to make a koha for the shows, and we've actually taken the shows out to the communities rather than just being with it in town. We've decided to actually take the gigs out to the communities, and it starts at 6:30. It's an hour-long show. The play show goes for about maybe 40 minutes. And part of that is kai. We have a cup of tea, and then we get to talanoa, mix and mingle with, with the audience as well, which is all part of the play as well.
Hiliako Iaheto, thank you very much for taking the time this morning to share with us amazing creation and the works of our Tangata Pacifica residing in Dunedin and that part. And thank you also for the works that you're doing there in the representation of our people in all forms. And God bless the journey, and we hope to speak to you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No worries. Well, it is now, 14 minutes to 8 o'clock. You're tuning in to Pacific Mornings.